Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and if you're joining my channel for the first time, please remember to subscribe, share, like and comment. I'm gonna be discussing my long awaited Dubai video. So guys, first things first, you have to forgive me. I had this thing recorded prior. It was a 1-hour video, and guys, it ended up being so messed up and I could not post it, so I feel bad about it. But I was like, you know what I'll do now is I'll just do the highlights video. So what I'll be discussing is a few things that you need to know when you go to Dubai, especially as a solo traveler. So without further ado, guys, the first thing I'm going to discuss today is how to plan your trip to Dubai. So guys, my first thought was I use a travels and tour company, which happened to be a very bad deal, guys. So when the deal is too good, think twice. I felt like I made a very bad decision trusting Le Captain Adventures to organize my trip. So they asked me for a deposit like 1 week to my travel date, and guys, they were not able to hold the end of the bargain of getting me my dream trip. So I ended up having to plan everything again myself, and I felt so bad because they walinisumbua, like they just dragged me here and there until I ended up getting that money, guys, after the trip was done. So I really didn't like that part. And if I will give you my honest advice, guys, travel by your own means. Don't do travel companies because they will mess you one way or another. Just stick to that. And if it's not that, they might even overcharge you on a trip, and then you end up realizing that you're not getting value for your money. And this is not me saying you shouldn't use travel and tour companies. You can use them as long as you are 100% sure you're getting great value for your money. That's what I'm gonna say. So guys, the second thing I want to discuss is before going to Dubai, you have to check if there are any travel restrictions, because given that we've been living in a COVID-19 period, it was crazy and things kept shifting. So you have to confirm that with the UAE embassy portal and just check if there are any new travel restrictions. So luckily, there was no restrictions per se. The only thing that you are required to carry when you're going to Dubai was a printed vaccination certificate, and of course your e-visa, which you need to acquire. Another thing I want to bring to your attention is, guys, you do not need a travel insurance anymore. So these guys who are charging you for the visa, because even the tour and travel companies, they don't tell you, they offer the visa together with the insurance. So they quote a higher price. So you have to be very careful with that, because now you do not need the insurance anymore. You just need your visa. And e-visa is the easiest way to work if you're traveling to Dubai. That's what I used, and I was like, it was so seamless, so effortless. I paid 13,000 guys for it, and I felt it was affordable because these guys will quote it in USD, so you have to calculate, and some will say it's 15,000, others will say it's 14,000. So you have to try and find the cheapest deals available. Something else I want to discuss is you need to change your currency, guys. You need to change your currency before you go to Dubai. I made the mistake of not changing money while I was here, which is actually way cheaper than going to change it from the airport or the forex bureaus in Dubai. So change your money while you're here, and I would highly recommend this place. They're not paying me, guys. They are not paying me. I wish they were paying me, because this is money. But anyway, Continental Forex Bureau. It's in town, Kimathi Street, next to Old Mutual Building. Because the rate is 30, and Dubai you will charge 37. So 1 dirham, 37 shillings. That's really expensive. So you have to save the money, guys, because Dubai is an expensive place. You cannot afford to be dealing with expensive exchange rates. Another thing I want to tell you guys is the best month to travel in Dubai is between November and May. And when I say May, is the first week of May, because The other times, Dubai is extremely hot, guys. When I say extremely hot, I have not been there when it's extremely hot, but the way my friend described it, I will keep, by the way, mentioning my friend all through this video, because without her, my trip would have been a nightmare or miserable. Vivian Mapesa, that's my girlfriend from campus, and she's the one who helped make my trip seamless, because after this, guys, messed me up from Le Captain Adventures, my friend is the only person who was able to help me figure out how I'll maneuver my way in Dubai, and she was also my tour guide, so it was awesome. Yes. Another thing I will tell you guys is book your flights and hotels early, because you do not want that hassle of the last few days to your travel date, hustling to get hotels and flights, and it's expensive. It's really expensive, I will not lie, because I paid like 56,000 for my return flight. And I felt like it was a lot, because I could have paid maybe 40, maybe 35, 39, you know, like a good deal. But it's because I decided on my trip last minute as well. I didn't think I'll make it, because I did not think my funds were enough, but eventually my funds came correct, and I was like, you know what, we are happening. So I made it was possible. So I've used Triple Air twice now, guys. I used it for my South Africa trip and for my Dubai trip, and it was perfect. Guys, it's not a scam, and it worked for me, and they're not paying me, but I'll market them anyway. It was affordable because it gives you all these cheap flights, expensive flights, so you just get to pick where your budget suits. So Triple Air, for the win, they did the thing, and it was perfect. The only thing I didn't like about Triple Air is they don't specify which terminal you're using, because now if you go to a foreign country and you don't know the terminals, you might get stuck if you have no information of your terminal. So apart from that, I think it's perfect. When you're in Dubai, and in fact, even when you're booking with agencies, there's this thing called tourism dirhams in Dubai. So basically, it's an extra cost you pay on top of where you're staying. Let's say you're staying at Hyatt Regency, that one, I think so. Yeah, you pay, let's say you're paying 30,000 for the stay. So there's an extra cost of like 8,000 where you're supposed to pay to the hotel, and it's called the tourism dirhams. So guys, that's money you have to make sure you have. Don't just book your stay and then you just go there without extra money. So make sure you have extra cash to pay for the tourism dirhams. If you're staying in a hotel, in a guest home, in a holiday home, you have to pay the tourism dirham. So just, that's something to really note when you go to Dubai, especially to a hotel. Another thing, you have to always arrive at your airport like 3 hours, guys. If it's international flight, please be there 3 hours to time, because you don't know what will happen. Sometimes you get there and then you have a document you don't have, or just something might happen. So when you're there in time, first of all, you get to check in for free. You're not charged for your luggage. And then also, in case there's anything that comes up that you need to have, you have enough time to like be able to go and print and bring it and everything. So when you're booking online for your flight, most of the time you're asked to pay extra if you want a specific seat. But guys, let me tell you a loophole. So when you go to the airport, you don't have to book the seat when booking, because you'll pay extra money. So when you get to the airport, when you're checking in, guys, you just request the attendant there to give you a seat of your choice if it's available. If it's not available, they'll just show you the seats that are available, and you're able to pick a seat of your choice. Every time I go to the airport, I keep forgetting to ask for a seat of my choice, so I end up being placed in funny places. Especially, you see where the wings of the flight are. I'm always in that seat, so you have no view. You have an obstructed view, or you have to keep looking back or front to be able to see something you want to see. So yeah, you have to like make sure you get there early and request for a seat of your choice. Always when you're traveling, given that this is during the COVID-19 aftermath period, you need to just have a mask, because I didn't have a mask when I went to JKIA, and apparently to board Ethiopian Airlines you need a mask. So I ended up having to buy a mask for 100. Guys, 100 shillings. Do you know how much that is? Guys, masks may drop to like 5 bob now, and we are paying 100 bob at the airport for a mask. So guys, please just carry a mask for just in case, okay? And also when you're in Dubai, when you're entering the malls, you need a mask. So just carry a mask and make sure you have either a few, or if it's washable, make sure you have it with you and just carry it in case you need it. Another thing, when you're at JKIA specifically, and you're doing an international flight, you can eat at Java. They're the cheapest, they're the most affordable at the airport. Do not make a mistake of going to the food court, because the food there is crazy. Unless there's a specific thing you want and it's at the food court, then fine, it makes sense. But if you're out there trying to save money like I do, please, Java is there, and the prices are not exaggerated. They've not shot up just because it's in the airport. It's still the same price, so please, you can eat there and save some money. Because guys, I spent 1,000 bob on a bowl of rice, and it was this tiny. I felt so, gosh, I was like, what? And I ended up realizing Java was actually downstairs. So I was like, I'll tell you guys about Java, because not everyone will see it. So when you're at the airport, Java is perfect for your meals and your snacks. Another thing, oh yes, you need to ensure, guys, your luggage is locked, especially if it's not your carry-on luggage, the one that's going to the cargo area. Please make sure you lock it, and if it's possible, carry a padlock, because you see the locks that the suitcases come with. Mine was picked on, guys, and it was destroyed. But luckily, your girl didn't have very expensive things in there, or other valuables to steal. I just had basic things that everyone travels with. Messed with. My other bag that had carried things for my friend was also tampered with. So just make sure you lock your luggage, guys. Carry a padlock. I know it's the ghetto, but carry a padlock. You'll thank me later. If, let's say, you want your bag to be wrapped with the foil thing, you have to pay like 300 per bag. So if that's what you prefer to do, you can just, because it's a fancy way to travel, you know, like it's wrapped, not padlocks and, you know, keys everywhere. So you can just have it wrapped in foil, and then you pay 300 per bag, and yeah, your luggage will be safe. Another thing I noticed, okay, it's something I've noticed now twice, okay, not twice, like more than twice now. Food on the flight is just not tasty, and if you're really hungry, you can eat it. But if you really don't need it, if you're more into the people who love tasty food, eat while at the airport, and then you just get on the jet and just sleep, and just maybe have refreshments and snacks. Because the food there, I won't lie to you guys, it's just, I don't know who cooks it, but ainanga ladha, but the inanga taste, and I don't know why. But anyway, that's none of my business. That's none of my business. If you're going to use a flight that has layovers, because the flights with layovers are cheaper, and I don't mind cheap flights. They're cheaper, but now they have layovers. Make sure the layover is not more than 3 hours, because guys, you have to like now start thinking of where to take a shower. You need to do this, you need to do that, and maybe you don't have your luggage with you, all your luggage with you, and then now you have this inconvenience of you need to buy new things, and then you end up like just being stressed the whole trip. So if you're gonna go for a flight with layovers, I recommend 2 hours or less, 3 hours or less, you'll be good to go. Once you're in Dubai, please, Dubai is massive, guys. Dubai is a big place. Make sure you wear comfortable shoes. Right from the airport, guys, the walking you have to do is crazy. I mean, there are trains and all these other things, but trust you me, you need comfortable shoes. So this is to my ladies. Do not wear heels when going to Dubai, because you're gonna have a hectic time. Unless you're just gonna be moving from the hotel to maybe the restaurant and you're using a cab, that makes sense. But if you're doing some walking, please wear comfortable shoes. Once you're at the airports, or rather once you're like on foreign grounds, of course your network carrier does not cover such areas, so you need to like make sure you connect with the airport Wi-Fi. It's reliable, it's fast, it's good to be able to communicate to your friends if, let's say, you're going to meet friends, and yeah, that should help. What else? So let's say you want to get a taxi while at the airport. Now we are at Dubai, yeah? When you're at the airport, the taxis are in, we have two types of taxis. There's the black ones. Those are really expensive, guys. Those ones are really expensive. I will not recommend unless you're a baller. I would recommend the taxis that are their cream, and then they have like a red top or a pink top. The ones with a pink top are lady driven, and I would recommend lady drivers because they're not the best, but they're more reliable and trustworthy. So, because I got conned, guys, while I was in Dubai. My driver acted like she didn't know the place she was taking me. She could have easily switched on her maps because I had no Wi-Fi to be able to do all these things, and just taken me to my place. But she ended up like charging me 80 dirhams instead of 70 because of the confusion of trying to find where I stay. So that brings me to highlight. When you're in Dubai, guys, don't tell people you don't know where you are or it's your first time, because people are gonna use that to take advantage of you. Arabs are good people, but they can also be very tricky people. The public transport in Dubai is amazing, guys. It's amazing. It's really nice and seamless, and it works. It's like, it just works for a reason. So these guys, the buses, they use a card. You tap a card when you're entering and it deducts like 3 bob, and then you have to tap the card when you're getting out. If you don't tap that card, guys, you might risk being arrested if the kanjos, which are the cops for, you know, the, what are they called, the city council cops, yeah, if they get in the bus and they do it randomly and they get that you haven't tapped your card, because they have like something like a phone or a PDQ machine they tap to see if you had tapped your card. So if they find out you hadn't tapped, guys, from 3 bob dirhams, you're charged, or rather you're penalized a fine of 200 dirhams. Guys, that's like 6,000 Kenyan shillings. There's no one there telling you to do it, but just do it because it's the right thing to do, okay? And you'll have a seamless time over there. So yeah, and then another thing, when you're in Dubai, you need to download an app called Siphon. Siphon, I'll just write the spelling down here. Yes, Siphon app, because it will help you be able to make calls through WhatsApp to Kenya and other places where you're from, and it worked for me. And my friend is the one who recommended me. Vivian is the one who told me this thing because I didn't know about it. So yeah, so you need that app once you land in Dubai. That's what you need if you need to make calls, international calls and everything. Unless you're really loaded, y'all, you can still make your calls, but unless you're really loaded and you don't need that, then don't worry about Siphon. Siphon is for the people who want to use Wi-Fi to call. Guys, I'm telling you, I'm not kidding you. Dubai respect their women. So the women have their own sitting area, and if a guy is arrested in that area, they get to pay a fine of like 300 dirhams. Guys, that's like 9,000. So it's no joke. So yeah, they are separated, their places, and women always have the first priority when getting on the bus, when getting on the train. So men get in last after the women have settled in, and I find that so dope. That's so cool. Another thing, guys, is, oh yeah, the windows remain closed. There's no opening of windows. Like if you're sitting near a window, guys, just forget about it. Don't open it, because the AC there is just you feel like you're just in like a freezer, yo. And then again, it's understandable because Dubai is really hot, you guys. Dubai is really hot. So every car, every train, every bus you get on has AC, and it's just cooling and nice, and you feel nice being in there. So there's no need to open windows, because that's the ghetto, guys. Don't do that. Yeah, when I went to the Dubai Mall, guys, I didn't know how big that mall is. That mall is massive. So I had gone around the time when I wanted to celebrate my birthday, and yeah, I wanted to do dinner there, and I wanted to wear heels, a nice dress. My friend was like, hold up, Dubai Mall is not to play with, because it's a very big mall. It's almost like 3 kilometers to walk from the station to the mall. So you have to be in comfortable wear. If possible, even just wear sneakers, but I'm not a sneaker girl, so I wore sandals. But yeah, just to note, Dubai is massive, and the walking you do in there is crazy. So you need to be in comfortable shoes, unless unataka kubebwa na wheelchair. Ooh, that these guys in the mall, I call them perfume hawkers, because they were everywhere, guys. Like, you see the corridors of the mall, so they're like stationed like in different places, and they want to really spray you, and they want you to try their perfumes. So I always have this issue where if someone just sprays me like 2 different perfumes, I start sneezing. So I was like, I'm not gonna try any, because I'm not even planning to buy any at the first place, unless nataka tu kushinda nikispraywa. But yeah, they're really everywhere, and they're really friendly, guys. So they'll be like all over your face trying to get you to like buy the perfume. So that's something to note. They're really there, and they can be annoying, especially if you're not into those people who like come to you to sell things. The highlights in Dubai Mall is they have this aquarium zoo that's massive, underground zoo, where you get to see millions of sea creatures and non-sea creatures that are in there. But for me, the favorite thing I saw in there was the penguins. Guys, I've never seen a penguin in my life. I was happy. There's a lot of shopping outlets, and these are designer shops, you guys. There's Gucci, there is There's who else? There are many. There's Louis Vuitton. There's who else? Okay, guys, there were so many. I even lost track. But basically, any designer shop you can imagine, it's there. It's there. And then they also have eateries. So we got to eat there at Red Lobster. They have amazing pasta and chicken salad. If you get yourself to Red Lobster, those are the two meals I'll recommend highly because they are So Red Lobster, you can try their pasta and chicken salad. And if you do, please come and comment in this video and tell me you tried it and you loved it. While you're at Dubai Mall, Burj Khalifa is close by. So when you get to the other side of the mall, actually where Red Lobster is, on that side, you can actually have a very good view of the Burj Khalifa. You can take pictures, you can do your videos over there. And then the water fountain is also close by, the one that usually is done, the show for the water fountain that happens. It happens there, so you can also like stay. If there's something special happening, they'll do it. And they also lit up the Burj Khalifa, so it's really a beautiful place to be. That's a very good spot to be at. The beaches are not crowded. They're not, as much as they're public, they're not crowded, so you won't find like a gazillion of people unless it's a holiday time. Makes sense, but you won't find them crowded. And guys, they have a walking lane, they have a cycling lane, and they have a track lane where you can run. And those three lanes are separate, guys, and you have to like observe rules while you're in Dubai if you don't want to get in trouble. And then they also have like a place where you get a bike, but it's not free. You have to download an app called Kareem Bikes, and then you pay, or rather it's linked to your bank, so it will deduct the money, and then you pay, and then you can ride for like 45 minutes, then you bring it back to recharge because they're like electric bikes. You bring it back to recharge. Apparently cars in Dubai are very cheap because, guys, the number of times I saw G-Wagons, I saw Ferraris, I saw Lamborghinis, I saw Porsche, I saw like all this what is it called, Rolls Royce. Guys, the number of times I saw these cars, I was like, oh my god, Connie, how cheap are these cars? So apparently cars are cheap, but now the issue comes when you want to have a driving license in Dubai. That's when you'll sweat tears. It's very difficult to acquire the driving license. In fact, it can even cost you as much as like more than even the car you're gonna buy, because it's very expensive, and a class is like I think 100,000. So, and if you don't pass, you have to repeat and repeat and repeat. But they have packages where if you think you're gonna fail, you just go for those packages because they'll be cheaper in the long run if you're gonna do a lot of repeats. I didn't see a single accident for those 5 days I was in Dubai. How cool is that? I was like, dope. So yeah, these guys really have their shit in order. Another thing, guys, you need to note is oh yeah, so I also got to go to Emirates Mall. So in Emirates Mall, the highlight of Emirates Mall is the Ski Dubai. They also have designer shops, so yeah, you can still shop over there. But if you're there, and if you would pick between Ski Dubai and the Aquarium Zoo, I would highly recommend the Ski Dubai, because I didn't go for the Ski Dubai, and I wish I did, because it was really cool, guys. It was really cool. So Ski Dubai, Emirates Mall, tick. That's the thing I'll do when I go back to Dubai the next time I do, and I know I'll do it again. So I went for the desert safari as well, and I paid 100 dirhams, so that's like 3,000 Kenyan shillings. I'm calculating it with the rate here. If you change your money from here, it will be 3,000 shillings. Yes. And so basically what was in my package was transport to and fro, and then to do the desert safari, and then to do camel riding, and to do the dinner, the after dinner. And when we got there, guys, I went with this guy called Mohammed, and I will never recommend that guy to anybody, because he really wasted our time. And by wasting our time is, we got to desert safari area, but the first thing people do is do the quad bikes and ride around the desert and everything. So no one in our group wanted to do that. So we ended up staying there for like 1 hour, yet no one was doing the quad bike. We could have just done the desert safari. Then we got to do the desert safari, which was like 30 minutes. And it's nice, guys, because it's like you're just being taken on this speed ride, but on sand. But it's nice. And then you get to a high place, and then you take pictures. There are people moving around with falcons. You can borrow you can get a falcon actually, but you pay for it like 25 dirhams, and then you get to ride it, to take a picture holding one. And then yeah, we went to the dinner area, and then also there this guy kept us for like another 1 hour, guys, and then we eventually got to get it. And then when we were in there, there's the regular area and then there's the VIP. But now the VIP you have to add an extra 50 dirhams to get access to. But the worst part, guys, is there's nothing that really differentiates that place from the regular. I will just say it's more comfortable in terms of sitting. You get like to sit on better seats than in regular. But in terms of food, services, it's the same damn thing. And I felt ripped off because I really wanted to smoke shisha. I wanted to do a henna tattoo, but I couldn't because I was told these things are just not part of the package the way I thought. Because the henna tattoo you're getting is like this tiny. Who wants such a tiny tattoo? And then the shisha is a shared communal pot. So you basically, it's just different tubes, and then you share, and then it's one flavor, which is the cocktail flavor. And I only do mint, so I could not do it, and I like it's such a rip-off. Drinking in Dubai is not permitted in public. You only drink in your house, alcohol, yeah? In your house, or in permitted or rather licensed places like hotels, bars, and such. If you're caught drinking in public, guys, you'll be arrested, and I don't know how much the fine will be, but rest assured you are not leaving that country unless you pay the damn fine. So when you're leaving Dubai, there are 3 terminals. There's Terminal 1, 2, and 3. Terminal 1 is for most of our local flights. That's where they go to, Terminal 1. That's where you leave from. Terminal 2 is for Fly Dubai mostly. And Terminal 3 is for Emirates. So don't make a mistake of going to the wrong one. I went to Terminal 3 by mistake because we thought that's the one that I can exit with. As I told you, Chipoya does not show you the terminal you're supposed to access. So I went to Terminal 3, then it was not the one. I went to Terminal 2, then it was not the one. Then I went to Terminal 1, which was the one. So I ended up paying extra, guys, because these terminals are massively apart. You have to like use a cab to get to each terminal. You can't just walk to the next terminal. That's how massive that place is. It's not like JK. JK, you can literally walk around JK and not get tired, and you get to like walk all over the terminals. But not Dubai, guys. If you confuse terminals, just rest assured you're adding extra money. In fact, I had to withdraw to be able to pay because now I had used all my money, and I had to now like just withdraw to have cash to pay these guys for my extra inconvenience. But otherwise, guys, I think I've highlighted most of the important things you need to know when you're in Dubai, and I hope I was educative. I hope I shed some light on something you weren't sure about in Dubai, and I hope when you go to Dubai you'll enjoy. And I'll really appreciate if you give this video a thumbs up, comment, like, and share if you can, guys, and I'll really appreciate it. See you on the next one. Bye.